The insistent drumming on the windowpane was the first thing that woke me. It wasn't rain, not the gentle patter I was accustomed to in this quiet corner of the world. This was a deliberate, rhythmic pounding, like a frantic bird desperate to escape. I shivered, pulling the thin sheet tighter around me. The house, an old Victorian with peeling paint and a history whispered in the floorboards, creaked around me. Every groan of the settling timbers amplified the drumming, turning it into a terrifying, primal rhythm. My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic echo of the unseen force outside. I tried to ignore it, to bury my head back under the pillow and pretend it was just the wind, a particularly mischievous gust playing tricks. But the drumming intensified, a maddening insistence that shattered my fragile peace. Fear, cold and clammy, began to seep into my bones. I lay there, paralyzed by a nameless dread, until the drumming abruptly stopped. A silence, thick and suffocating, descended upon the room. Then, a whisper, barely audible, slithered through the stillness. It was a woman's voice, ancient and mournful, a chilling melody that seemed to seep directly into my bloodstream. Come to me," it whispered, the words brushing against my skin like icy fingers. Terror, raw and primal, erupted within me. I scrambled out of bed, my bare feet hitting the icy wood of the floor. The whisper followed me, weaving through the darkness, a chilling presence that seemed to emanate from the very walls themselves. I stumbled towards the window, my breath catching in my throat. The drumming had stopped, but the windowpane was still vibrating, as if from some unseen force. Outside, the night was a swirling vortex of shadows, the moon obscured by a menacing bank of clouds. I couldn't see anything, but I knew, with a certainty that chilled me to the bone, that something was out there, watching me. My gaze darted to the hallway, the darkness beyond the doorway a gaping maw of uncertainty. The whisper intensified, now a chilling chorus of voices, each one pleading, demanding my presence. I felt a sudden wave of dizziness, the world tilting precariously on its axis. Panic clawed at my throat. I had to get out of the house, escape this suffocating grip of terror. I fumbled for the doorknob, my fingers trembling uncontrollably. But the doorknob wouldn't turn. It was locked. I pounded on the door, my frantic cries echoing through the silent house. "Help! Someone help me!" But there was no answer, only the chilling chorus of whispers that seemed to seep through the very wood of the door. Desperation lent me a surge of adrenaline. I scrambled back towards the window, hoping to find some way to break it and escape. As I neared the window, the whispers intensified, swirling around me like a suffocating fog. I felt a sudden, debilitating weakness, my legs turning to jelly. Then, I saw it. A figure, tall and gaunt, stood outside the window, its face obscured by the swirling shadows. It wore a long, flowing gown that seemed to shimmer with an eerie, inner light. Its eyes, two burning embers in the darkness, were fixed on me, filled with a hunger that made my blood run cold. The figure reached out a skeletal hand, its long, gnarled fingers twitching. A wave of nausea washed over me, and I stumbled back, crashing into the dresser. The figure outside the window let out a chilling, guttural moan, a sound that seemed to shatter the very air around me. I crawled away from the window, my heart pounding like a trapped bird. The whispers followed me, a chilling symphony of despair. I felt a sudden, terrifying urge to obey, to succumb to the unseen force that was pulling me towards the window, towards the figure that watched me with such malevolent hunger. I fought against the urge, clawing at the carpet, trying to anchor myself to the ground. But the whispers grew louder, more insistent, until they drowned out all other sounds. My will began to crumble, my body trembling uncontrollably. Then, I saw it. A glint of metal, half hidden beneath a pile of forgotten books. It was a letter opener, its sharp point gleaming menacingly in the dim light. A surge of adrenaline coursed through me. I scrambled towards the books, my fingers desperately searching for the letter opener. The whispers intensified, a cacophony of voices urging me to surrender. But I ignored them, focusing all my energy on finding the weapon. Finally, my fingers brushed against the cold metal. I snatched it up, my grip tightening around the handle. The whispers reached a fever pitch, a chilling crescendo that seemed to vibrate through my very bones. I raised the letter opener, my hand trembling. The figure outside the window let out a guttural scream, a sound that seemed to tear through the very fabric of reality. Then, it lunged towards the window, its skeletal hand reaching out towards me. With a desperate cry, I plunged the letter opener into the windowpane. The glass shattered with a deafening crash, showering me with shards of glass. The figure outside the window recoiled, a pained hiss escaping its lips. I stumbled back, my heart pounding in my chest. The figure outside the window swayed precariously, then collapsed to the ground. The whispers, which had been so loud, so insistent, suddenly ceased. A chilling silence descended upon the room, broken only by my ragged breathing. I stood there, trembling, the letter opener clutched tightly in my hand. I didn't know what I had just faced, what dark entity had sought to claim me. But I knew one thing for sure: I would never forget the terror, the chilling fear that had gripped me in the dead of night. I spent the rest of the night huddled in the corner of the room, the shattered windowpane a stark reminder of the horrors I had faced. I didn't sleep, not truly. Every creak of the old house, every rustle of leaves outside, sent shivers down my spine. As dawn approached, the fear began to recede, replaced by a weary exhaustion. I stumbled towards the door, my fingers trembling as I fumbled with the doorknob. It turned easily now, as if the unseen force that had locked me in had finally relinquished its hold. I stepped out of the house, blinking in the sudden onslaught of sunlight. The world seemed brighter, more vibrant, after the horrors of the night. But the memory of the figure outside the window, its burning eyes and chilling hunger, remained etched into my mind, a constant reminder of the darkness that lurked just beyond the veil of reality. I never returned to that house. I sold it, leaving behind the memories of that terrifying night, the whispers, the figure in the shadows, and the chilling fear that had threatened to consume me. But even now, years later, I can still feel the lingering chill of that night, the icy touch of the unseen force that had sought to claim me. And sometimes, in the dead of night, I can still hear the whispers, faint and distant, a chilling echo of the horrors I had faced.